Yes, I'm very humbled that I'm your trainer tonight. Yes, because we are going to have a very, 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 very beautiful training. Very beautiful training. If you have someone who's not yet in class, please tell them to join in right now. Tell them to join in right now. I want to welcome each and everyone who has joined the class. Each and everyone who has joined the class. I want to give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause. Some people don't know what a round of applause is, how it is done here online. That's how it's done. Just give yourself a hand clap, a very big one, and then we get started right away, right away here on Google Meet. Now, leaders, um, today we are going to have a training. We said that we are going to discuss, okay? We are going to discuss, uh, we are going to be discussing Royal Q futures. Royal Q futures is somewhat different from the futures done on from the futures done on Binance Direct. You get the point? I'm going to give you the difference, which I want you to, which I,
which I
excuse me,
which of course I want you to master and understand. It's the one we are going to be discussing today. We are going to have a series of this training, if possible, for some good days, so that every one of us can learn and master the art of this kind of trading. I believe we are going to change our business. Have you been in floating loss? Have you lost money uh, in delisting? Has been your robot very inactive for long? Have you been there not making money for some times? Sometimes not making big money became normal. I want to unleash to you another kind of trading which Royal Q gave us last year. Last year, by the way, Royal Q gave us Royal Q futures. We didn't have futures before. I joined this business in 2021. We didn't have the futures. Back then, we only had spot. Okay? So when we got spot, then in 2024, Royal Q introduced Royal Q futures. But we realized that people have not yet even mastered the trade of spot. So we thought that if we introduce futures, it's really going to be very confusing. People are going to get lost. People are going to make mistakes. And since futures, if you make a mistake, you lose money. We're like, let's first focus on sport. And I'm pretty sure we have had enough classes, a lot of them, a lot of knowledge about futures. I'm pretty sure most of you, you know now how to set a trade, how to buy a coin, how to get out, how to buy margin calls. You know all those things. Now, tell a neighbor now. I want to see the word now in the chat box. Say now, say now, say now. Type the word now in the chat box. Now, we are going to introduce another kind of trading. Okay? Ah, yeah, people following. This is fantastic. This is fun. Now it is time to make the money. The system we are going to unleash to you today is not a new system, as some people think. Some people think maybe it has started this week. Ricky had this feature since last year, but it was inactive. Few people were using it. I have someone I know, very good leader. I follow him on TikTok. In the beginning of this year, if I'm not mistaken about the time, he started a challenge. He was like, I'm going to start a challenge of trading Royal Q futures from today. But with $100. And see how far this robot can go. Today, his total trading capital of that account is 20,000 USD. 20 USD. Eh? So the system we are unleashing today, we are not the first people to use it. Okay? Not at all. People have been using it. Okay? People have been using it for some months and it works. What I can tell you is it works. Okay? Actually, it's not even 30,000. No, it's not 20,000. It is 32,000. I'm going to share with you the screenshot. Okay? I'm going to share with you the screenshot. 30,000 US dollars made since the beginning of this change. Let me share the screenshots in all our groups. Let me share the screenshots in our groups. I guess you can see. I've just posted it in the Game Changers. Okay, and still, let me also share my screen. Please don't unmute yourself. Don't unmute yourself. It's like I'm hearing someone unmuting themselves. Please don't interrupt the class. Let me share. This is the challenge. Day 128. Some of you follow this gentleman. It's called the Anchor Investor. He has been trading with the futures. 128 days. Those are how many months? Huh? Are they 5 months? I think those are 5 months. We are in June. 4 months. Thank you. We are in June. That means this gentleman started in February. It was like, I'm going to use a future which no one is using on Royal Cube. Maybe they fear it. Maybe they fear it. You know, futures is very skeptical. Many people have lost money in this field. Many people are, people are scared. How comes someone from February says that he started with $100 and his journey is to 100,000 USD? He has made so far 32,000. This is enough to say that the system works. Imagine, man, such an income. Imagine, you imagine, you think about it. Screenshot, I think was for last week. That one. On 8th, he made $1,882. Zimbabwe comes a Uganda. That's like 6.5 million shillings in a day. A previous day, he made $4,200. That's like 15 million shillings. I think this thing works, right? Are we ready to learn? Are we ready to learn? If you're ready to learn, give me a thumbs up. If you're ready to learn, give me a thumbs up. 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 I want to see thumbs up. Now, these are the emojis I want to see on the screen. I want to see the thumbs up. I want to see the flowers. I want to see the happy emoji. Please don't post the angry emoji. That one crying. You see that? Daniel, what's up with you, bro? Whenever I tell people to post the emojis, happy ones, Daniel and Eunice, they post the crying. Why are you crying, you people? You don't need to cry. Okay? Let me tell you, people, we are going to make the money. We are going to make the money. That's what I can say. These are my trades. I've been trading, since I started this thing. I'm even making money tomorrow. It's 26, but I'm making money tomorrow. Clap for me. Give me a round of applause. I'm making money for tomorrow. Tomorrow, I've been using $200. Okay? Now, my training is going to be a steady. of trainings. I want to warn you, it's going to be a series of trainings. We have decided that every 8 p.m., we are going to be diving in into futures trading of Royal Q. The 12 p.m. class and the 9 a.m. class are going to stay as they have been. Okay? Then in the coming time, we are going to also have physical classes. We will choose a hotel. We decide which Saturday people come. Those who will be able to be around Kampala, you come on study. We dive in physically very soon. But let's get started. Today is a Thursday. I think it's a very beautiful day to start the journey. For me, I believe this is my new account. I've been not trading a lot with this account. I last traded with it 2022, then 2024 in March, I stopped. Then I started with the future. I think this was on $5. I skipped some days. Then I was learning. I was like, how is this thing working? Eh? I was teaching myself. Start with the leaders who have been doing this for some time. They guided me. And I believe we can walk this walk together and we make the money. And by the way, if you see, this has been a bad week in sports because for the past week, we've been seeing a full-scale war between Israel and Iran. You know, when we are trading in crypto, the wars affect us so much. Not so. I think you've been experiencing this. I want to tell you the good news, my champions. This time round, whatever happens in the world, we got to benefit from it. If there is a war, we are going to make the money. If there is a new president of America and is a woman, the markets go up, we benefit. That is sport and futures. Who's ready for that? Who's ready for that? Who's ready for that? Give me a round of applause. Give me a round of applause. The excuse of, man, the market is bad is now no longer valid. For me, okay, let's go. Let's start our class. Ekibadde kigula lugi. Kigula lugi kikimanyi. That is a kigula lugi. I'm done with it. Now we have started our class. Okay, we have started our class. I think now you can see my screen. Can you all see my screen? I've designed here a very good. Okay, I think now you can see my screen very clearly. Royal Q futures trading. You people, Royal Q futures trading is somehow different from Binance futures trading. There is some difference. Royal Q tried to make sure that it protects the user's capital. Are we learning something? Are we learning something? As I've told you, we're going to have a series of training. Don't rush. When we end our session, questions should be only on what we have studied to avoid jumping classes. Eh? I don't want to see people getting out of class. What telling Judith to get away? If you not get it, Judith, tell her come back. Tell her come back. Hey, we don't want to see people getting out of class. And then after classes, someone calls you. They're like, hey, leader, first you say the what? No. We are not going to answer anything. You will go to YouTube. Eh? Royal Q futures trading with before Kayinda. I believe this system is going to make us money. However, we have to be very keen and as we dive into this kind of trade. Okay, are we ready? Let's go. Before we go further, the mindset. Before we go anywhere, I want to tell you something. Mindset is the key here. I think we have never talked about mindset in spot trading. Do you know why? Man, it's a safe kind of trading. It is very safe. You enter a coin, even if you do a mistake, you will find that coin going nowhere. But with the futures trading, it's a different story. So the mindset must be. By the way, for me, these are the things I love in life. I never like it because for sure, is the things sometimes they have no money. The gains are very small. The higher the risk, the more the money. Are we learning something? So something we are going to dive in, it is not as very silver plated like sport has been. It's not a bed of roses. Mm-mm. It's somehow uncomfortable, but the results are amazing. The results are amazing. Are we ready? Are we ready? The right mindset is the key here. Money without financial intelligence is money soon gone. Say a study of financial intelligence is soon gone. In the futures, even if you make money and the emotional intelligence is low, you are losing it in the following night. When you are jumping with emotions, huh? I want you to be emotionally detached. When you make money, don't be so excited to just join the markets. When you lose money, don't give up. That's the mindset I'm talking about. Be very strategic. Be very good student. Follow what your leader have told you. Don't do your own things. If your leader tells you that it is trade, we're going to trade like this, and for you trade like that, I want you to know the repercussion. Here apply. Uncle Rick is saying, no feelings attached. Yeah, to be take a more feeling. Which are trading is like politics. Your wife tomorrow is a candidate against you. You get the point? Your today's enemy is your tomorrow's best friend. Don't join politics if you are emotionally weak. You get what I'm saying? You find the people demonstrating because of a certain politician. After 5 years, that same politician crosses and he joins the other party. Think about the people who died before. That's what I'm saying. Eh? I'm bringing that. It's just an example. You people don't come and ask me questions. I don't know anything. So if I was me, if I was a person maybe talking to students in a political class, I would tell them the field you are coming in, be emotionally detached. Same words I'm using even here. Be emotionally detached when you're trading futures. I want you to be very strategic. I want you to be very disciplined. You are going to make the cash. Banani, when we sent you are going to make the money. We are going to make the money. We have been losing the money. We've been missing the money. Someone is saying you need to be sleeping. You're sleeping in class. My God. Someone is saying is yes. Fearing is normal. You keep fearing. We are making the money. Let's go. Important topics for future. We are going to dive in each topic step by step. Moving step by and remaining with 30 minutes. The first one, capital management is key here. capital management is key. Only use, are you saying this? Only use 20% of your capital. Did I say futures? Only use 20% of your capital and also trade in isolated strategy. Avoid losing capital. I'll explain that. Let me give an example. Let me share now my screen where there is a blackboard. Are you seeing my screen where I have a blackboard? Huh? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now you can see my screen where there is a blackboard, right? We say
Yes,
capital
teacher.
management. We said that use only 20% of your capital. Use only 20% of your capital. Okay? If on your Binance you have $1,000, nga capital wa $10, only transfer $200 on a futures wallet. Let's go. For example, my Binance here. Okay. Okay, let me use this account. Let's assume on my spot there has been $1,000. Only transfer $200 to futures wallet. Only transfer $200 to futures wallet. When I was training some people during day, I transferred extra. This account only has to be with $200. Are we learning something? Only you 20%. Why? In case of liquidation, this is what you lose. Let me now explain this clearly. I'll explain what liquidation is. I'll come back on this same topic so that we get on the same page. So, one of the most important parts about capital management, don't use in sport, since it's a safe kind of trading, we're just using capital as we want it. Same. Here we are going to safeguard our money. Here we are it's like we are joining real estate business. When I'm buying land, I don't use my whole money to buy land. How will I pay the lawyers? But if after buying here, someone else is selling at a cheaper price. So you don't use the whole of your capital. Use only 20%. 20%. And even when you are designing settings, even when you are designing trade settings, even when you are designing settings, you are going to use 20% of this to go in the market. The balance will be for margin calls. In the case, market goes against you. But again, are we together? If we are together, give me a hand clap. If we are together, give me hand clap. Give me a hand clap if we are together. Capital management. only use 20% of your capital. Because this are called 20%. Now, even in that 20% you have shared on your futures wallet, don't use the whole of it in a trade. Use 20% of. Give an example. Sorry. If my trading capital on futures is $200, I'm going to use only 40 as the first buying amount. The rest of $160 will be for margin calls. Are you seeing how we are strategic in this kind of trading? So that's what we call capital management. Capital management. Are we learning? Eh? Are we learning? If you are learning, give me hand clap. Pa, pa, pa. If you are learning, give me hand clap. Eh? Have you learned that? Why is Abi crying? My brother, you're crying. Eh? Who is your neighbor? Asani agambye nti ejje olina okutya. Nemo, who told you that making money is easy? Who told you? If it was easy, everyone would be driving a Brabus. Everyone would be driving a Subaru. By the way, my next car, I'm driving a Subaru. I think I loved it. Sometime I drove that car and I was like, oh, wow, it's a good machine. Do we have anyone driving a Mercedes Benz here to convince me, please? Because right now I'm convinced by Subaru guys. It's easy. I would be driving a Mercedes Benz, you people. I'm telling you, we wanted big. If money was easy to make, if no one would be in the jam. I was listening to one gentleman said that whenever you are in the jam, traffic jam, look at your neighbors. You are the poor people on the road. Oh, I hate motivational speakers. I abused it. I'm always in the jam. Look at your neighbors. Look at the right and on the left. Rich people never in the jam. That's what he said. And let me tell you, this year, the whole time you've been seeing me in traffic jam, I'm telling you, I'm on an experiment. He said that how many times have you seen the top rich people in your country in traffic jam? Let's go back to our topic. Capital management, don't use the whole of your money in futures. Just use only 20%. Okay? Our next class, we are going to dive in how to design the settings. Okay? How to design the settings using this 20% we are talking about. Are we together? Second, leverage. What is leverage? In futures, leverage helps you to boost your capital and the profits. The higher the leverage, the higher the profits, the higher the risk. Now let's go back to our blackboard. Are we at par? Eh? Some people, they are dozing in the class. They're like, oh man, this is a physics class. We don't need the physics. We are back in physics classes. I remember in my school, my high school in senior 4, usually the physics class was after lunch. And whoever did that timetable did a disservice to me. Maybe I would have been an engineer or a doctor. I don't know. You put that subject after lunch. You have just eaten your carbohydrates with beans. And then you sit in physics. I had to do it for sure. To be by 8 parts that subject. Now we are back in class. Leverage. What is leverage? It is only in futures where I can have $200 as my trading capital and I enter a trade with the 2,000 or 20,000. Now, this is where we've started. That's why we started our training with the mindset. We said that be emotionally. Who remembers that part? We said be emotionally. Be emotionally. If I'm taking feeling, you come with your $200 and then you want to enter the training with the 20K. Now, anyway, I'm explaining. It is only in futures where you can have $200 and you enter a trade with 2,000 and you enter the trade with 4,000 and you enter a trade with $500. That's what we call leverage. There is 1x, there is 2x, 3x, 10x, 20x, 50x. I don't know where there are coins which you can trade with 100x, but I've seen at least 50x. What does x means? Means times. Means times. That means the initial capital you have in futures wallet can be multiplied by these numbers. Are we together? Give me a hand clap if you're following. By the way, that's why in futures you find someone with a little money, yet they are making good profit. It's simply because of this. But, listen carefully. But, the higher the leverage. Now we are back in physics classes. Uri physics gwenagwa, kwekagala basoma sakati. The higher leverage, the higher the risk. Are we together? The higher the leverage, the higher the risk. That's why I've put the word risk in red. But also, the higher the profits. Uganda, our people don't understand Uganda. In Uganda here, Uganda is a tribe in Uganda, in the central region. They have a proverb. They say, those who don't lose, we don't die. You get the right translation, you people. Sibaswaza International. Embarrassing people internationally, and I become an international embarrassment. Yet you were there. The higher the leverage, the higher the risk of losing your trade, money in the trade, and also the higher the profits. Let me give an example. Let's assume our trading capital was $200 and someone used only 1x. That means this person has not leveraged. If they take a profit, is, let's assume we have a signal and the take a profit is 1%. This guy makes only $2 from trade. They have, we are assuming he had put all of the $200 in a trade without even margin calls or whatever, even the margin calls were involved. Someone who did times 2, times 2. How much profits do they make? Now I want to see people who passed mathematics. Of course, here money is increasing to $4. How about someone who did times 3? How much do they make? Because $200 times 3, that is $600. Now, $600, if you are taking 1%, this person makes $6. How about someone who did 10 times? How much do they make? What is their 1%? 1%. Someone who did 10 times. How much is the profit? 10. How about someone who did 20 times? 30 times. $200. Is he right? I think times 10 is about 20. Sure. Charika is crying. Why is he crying in our class? My God. Okay. $200 times 20. That means this person was trading with $4,000. If we take a profit of 1%, that means they are making $20. How about someone with 50x? How much do they make it? Yeah, 10x was 20, I think. This is 20, and it's over 40, if I'm not mistaken. How about someone who did 50x? Are you guys seeing the difference? But here is the problem, the risk part. If someone entered this trade with 1x, you can't lose money. We are going to study what we call liquidation. You can never lose money. Why? A coin must go 100% negative for them to lose money with 1x. Someone who has done 2 times, 2x, a coin must go 50% negative for them to lose money. Someone who has done 10x, if a coin drops just 10%, you have lost your trading capital. And when we mean losing, I mean you find zero on your futures account. Similarly, sport. When we are trading sport, if a market goes against you, you are just seeing floating euros in the words. You enter the weave is there in a negative 30%. You invested $1,000. Now you are seeing $700 and 300 is in air. If it comes back, that money comes back. Here in the futures, it's a different story. If the market goes against you, lose money. You lose. Okay? You lose money if the market goes against you. Now, if someone had leveraged with the 10x, that means if a market just goes down 10% above the business, they liquidate them. We are going to study what is liquidation. If you are having 20x, you multiplied your trading capital with 20. That means with $200, now you enter a trade with 4,000. Man, imagine your trading capital is 700K, but you are entering a trade with almost 15 million shillings. The capital where you don't dwell. You enter the trade with 15 million. So the market just go 5% negative. That trade is liquidated. Are you seeing the risk? Now we are learning the risks and the profits. Are we together? Now, for the guy who's doing 50x, I don't know how even to explain. That's a nuclear bomb. It's about multiplying your capital by 50x. Oh, 40 days. Now, have you understood that? With leveraging, the higher the leverage, the higher the profits you make, the higher the risk of losing capital in case your trade again goes against you. That's why on Twitter, there is a guy, actually even in our groups, they usually post these things. And you remember last week on Thursday, was it last week or the other week? When Israel bombed Iran. Patrick, put your question in the chat box. When Israel bombed Iran, the market went down. There is a guy who always posts the market. This is the money which has been liquidated from the market. Usually it is in billions. And then there is a conspiracy theory that the president of the United States manipulates the market. Whenever the market, you see the pattern. Whenever the market is good, something happens. In January, we had a very good market. February, March, the guy started this saga of Semanya tariffs. Putting tariffs on all of you guys. Now, for you, China, 30%. Tomorrow, 50%. The other day, 80%. The other day, 125%. Up to when you went to 260%. Can you imagine? The guy crushed the market. Crushed it. Bitcoin had gone to 110,000. It came back down up to 80K. Crashed the market. Then boom. He lifted the sanctions, the tariffs on all countries for 90 days. 90 days and 3 months. Trump tagenda kutuweza. Now, if you are in spot, you're losing money. Okay, you are missing money. How? The other day he came, he was like, now I've paused all of the tariffs on all countries except China and you're very Lesotho. There is a very small country in South Africa. Very Lesotho, all countries, the market went up. But before he announced that, he first came to his truth social media and he posted at night. At night, he posted, Americans, this is the best time to buy. What? Then in the morning, he announced that tariffs are off. Is that manipulating the market? It may be Magamba. Manipulation of the market internationally when you are trading futures and your leverage is high, you are at a higher risk of losing. You know, I want to teach you this thing which again. That's why not everyone is going to trade futures, by the way. Only a few will. And for them, they will make the money if they understand. Okay? If they understand. You see what has been happening for the whole of these 12 days of Israel and Iran saga. If we had known these futures, things would have made money because all coins were bleeding. And when they are bleeding, you make money. Now, these guys are saying, ceasefire. When the market is stable, boom, Pakistan is bombed. This drama will never end. So be very alert. Straight. Have you understood leverage? When we come in futures, we are going to be very knowledgeable about trading because trading is very interconnected with the international relations. Some people have never even heard about the country called Iran. They're like, what is he talking about? Is he mistaken in Iraq? With the end? Have we understood leverage, please? Let me see whether we have some questions here in the chat box. Okay. Please, if you have any questions, put them in the chat box. We are going to dive in at the end of the session. Okay. Now, next, liquidation. Liquidation. This. What is liquidation? Every trade has a price to pay. When you are in futures, we have what we call liquidation. Liquidation means when you enter a trade, if it goes against you, you can lose money. You can lose money. Let's come back. Let's come back to our blackboard. Okay? Can we all see our blackboard clearly? Now, let's assume I'm trading with stroke USDT. And with, I'm shorting it. Let me use red color with short. Short means I'm trading when the market is going down. That's what we mean by short. Okay? Now, let's assume I've entered it from here, expecting the market to hit this level, and I make my 1% take profit. This is my target. Okay? Now, a liquidation means if the market goes against you and starts going up instead, there is what we call liquidation. Liquidation might be here. That if the market goes against you up to this level, you have lost your capital. We together? That a coin might go up. Whenever it goes up, that means it is doing a reversal against your trade. Then you are in floating loss. Floating loss afanana wa spot. Are we together? If the market goes against you. But if that means if it goes against you, in Royal Q, what we do, we buy margin calls. This is our tomorrow training, how to do settings. I'm entering a trade when it's going down, but in case it goes against me, I buy margin calls. The more I buy margin calls, the liquidation level is extended. We call it liquidation price. Means they can get a level for better understanding. Then eventually the market comes back. When it comes back, it's your target. Are we learning something? Are we learning something? For example, I have a running trade here. Let's go to our Royal Q. This is my trade. It's called the WIF. I'm trading with a leverage of 10x. It has both three margin calls. My liquidation price is $0.8, but its current price is 0.754. My liquidation is 0.8. Let's go on our trading view. I want you to understand these things. Okay? With the same trade. With this is with. We go here. Current price. This is the current price. The liquidation price was 0.823. 0.8. There. Liquidation level. Have you seen? So that means if the market goes against me, because I'm shorting the market. For me, I told you in futures, I enjoy shorting the markets. I don't want to go up. I've been going up for the past 3 years. I'm tired. Now I want to go down with the markets. That's my understanding. I'm not saying that do that, please. But I enjoy it. There is a way I feel good. These coins have punished us so much in sport. Now, For me, I want to go down with this coin. But in case it goes up instead, if it reaches this level, my trade is liquidated. And by the way, it is very easy. Don't you think it is too far? Why is it so easy to liquidate me? Because I have a leverage. I have a leverage. Another thing, because it's isolated and cross. For ekeera enkya neefuna amawulire amalungi netandika okulinza abantu gyemu. And in one day candle, it's more likely to today it's going down. It was 4 hours. In 4 hours, it is showing this coin might go up a little bit. But in one day, it is still going down. When you look at the stochastic RSI, the blue line is pointing down, wanting to cross. That means there might be some good cash in this trade in shorting. So are we learning something? The trade is here, my liquidation is here. And it's about that liquidation. If this coin goes back, Kara Kawedem. Have you heard that song, Kawedem? I'm okay. Great. Because why am I okay? I joined understanding what I'm joining, what I'm starting. You get what I'm saying? The problem is when we trade without knowing what we do, we get disappointed. But if you join what you know, you're okay. You get what I'm saying? And remember my statement. The higher the leverage, the higher the risk. If this trade had no leverage, let's assume I have my $1,000. I entered this coin with the only $200, my real money, no leverage. You might find that this liquidation level would have been here on the blue line. It would have been very far. These guys have given me their money. Hey. This trade has $795. That my real cash is only $79. My money is only 79. That's why when you go to Binance and check this trade, it will show you what we call margin. Margin means your real money in a trade. My real money in this trade is only 79. But the trade is showing 794. Why? Because it has 10x. It has 10x. Okay? It was leveraged. We are going to study all these things step by step. Are we learning? Are we learning? Okay. Time is against us. Time is against us. Then, what is hedge? I think we have understood leverage, liquidation, sorry. Liquidation means losing your money in a trade. Okay? Or your money on the wallet. I'll differentiate the two later. Hedge. What is hedging? Hedging means you can trade the same coin in different positions. You can trade the same coin in different positions. Trade both trends of the coin. Let's come back to our blackboard. Mm-hmm. Let's assume this is our trade. It's called the WIF stroke USD USDT. And I shorted this coin. We started it from here on a very first buying amount. and I wanted to short this trade. What is shorting? Shorting means going down with a coin. When you go down with it, you make a profit. My take a profit was here 1%. Let me put it in green so that it can be understood clearly. My take a profit is here. When when a coin reaches this level, I make a profit. Then, as the coin was going down, I saw that it is changing a direction in a lower time frame. Now I'm talking to traders. In a lower time frame. You know, you can analyze a coin, but again, okay, but I'm 5 minutes candles. In a trend, in a small time frame. You know what you do? You can, when you reached here in the middle, then it is decided that it will go up. What you do? You put in another trade long. You put in another trade. You long the money. Sometimes we call it buy. Sometimes we call it sell. This is what we call hedging. This is what we call hedging. You have entered the same coin in both trades. Coin it is waiting to take a trigger here. I've done it times and it's very beautiful, you people. Now the coin goes up. When it goes up, it is going to sell this. So at the same time, it is buying margin calls for this trade. Because remember, your previous trade was to go down. If the market goes against you, now your robot starts buying margin calls. So there is another trade running, which is going to give you profits. If it hits the target, it gives you a profit. Which profit? For this long. Either if it doesn't hit and comes back, this will be floating loss. So you have to hedge what you understand. Don't just do it. Let's come to practically on review here. This is my trade with, you see, it has gone in for loss now. That means it has gone beyond where I've told it. Let me give an example. I'm shorting this coin. And I decided that, you know what's up? Let me also long it. That's why Roku gave us this button. Yeah, it's called create a long strategy. Usually this button is an opposite of your current trade. Are we together? Are we together? You can analyze this coin and you are like, you know what's up? According to the way I see this coin, it might do a reversal. Yeah? Okay. And then you hedge it. You enter it in both ways and you make the profit. Have we learned something? Give me a thumbs up if you're learning. Give me a thumbs up if you're learning. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up if you're learning. Give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Now, we are going to talk about cross and isolated. What is cross? The isolated. By the way, futures class, I request everyone, when you are coming in the futures class, come with a book. But there is money here. I'm telling you, I'm giving you assurance. There is money here. But please come with a book, study. Okay? Let's go back to our blackboard. We said we are going to study cross and isolated. What is the cross? What is isolated? Cross means we said that when you are trading, transfer only 20% of your capital to a futures wallet. Okajjukira ako. You remember that? If your trading capital is $1,000, only use 200 on a futures wallet. Now, if you are trading a trade in cross, let me give an example. Let's assume these are my settings. Now I have $200. My first buying amount is 40. Margin calls are using 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. I have 6. Okay, let's assume I have 10. Margin. That means $100 plus 40. That's 100. It is 440. It is a balance for $60. Not in a trade. Just seated on an account. Just assume. If I enter a trade and it goes against me, that means it buys all of these margin calls back up. This is what is going to happen. The liquidation will wait until it even covers this. That means you will lose the 140 and you also lose the 60 seated on a futures wallet. This happens only on futures wallet. If liquidation is happening, it's only happening on a futures wallet. Any money you left on a futures wallet will be liquidated. If that money is USDT, okay? If it's in USDT, pair is USDT. If your pair is USDC, it cannot liquidate USDT. It will liquidate USDC. Okay. Are we learning something? Because there is a futures trading for USDC. Are we together? So that means my $800 I left on spot, so it is safe. That's why we are saying in capital management, only use 20%. 20%, transfer it to your futures account. Same concept with the spot. You remember that when we have been trading spot and you leave money on fund, the robot doesn't see it. See what you then? When you put in a trade, your robot will say you have a sufficient balance. Until you transfer the money to spot wallet, even in futures. In futures, only money on the futures wallet can be liquidated if your coin is in cross. Are we together? Now, there is another isolated. What is isolated? If you put your trade in isolated, your robot buys the first buying amount and starts buying these margin calls. If the market goes against you and reaches the liquidation price, the only money you use is money in a trade. You get what I'm saying? That people who are trading isolated, they don't fear to transfer all of their funds on the futures wallet. Remember, the money they only lose is the money they have invested in a trade. Are we together? How do you know that? You only know it from Binance. For example, you see, when I'm trading this coin called WIF, I saying WIF? When I'm trading WIF, it is isolated here up. Before you enter this trade, you can always change it from cross to isolated. When it is in a cross, you can take all of the money on the wallet, on the futures wallet, not all wallets. When it is in isolated, it can only liquidate money in the can only liquidate money in a trade. So that means if trade goes against me, this is what I lose, only $79 out of my 200. Well, let me warn you people, those who want to come in the futures, you can make a real loss. Just like you make a real profit. It's like you make a real, a profit. Same way you can make a loss. Are we together? I think it's worth it. Okay, we want to end our training. It's been too much. I thought I had organized a very small training in Aima. Now, let's go to our. We are back. Okay. Now, have we understood all these things? Capital management, leverage, liquidation, hedge, and cross or isolated. So now, what's up? These are the most important things you need to do when you want to start trading futures. First of all, is to create a futures account and we do the API binding. Okay. You come to Binance, you create a futures account. Okay. This is how you do it. Have you taken a screenshot? Sorry, let me share the screen. Okay, let me share my other screen. Now, go to Binance. Tap here on futures. When you go to your Binance, tap here on futures. After tapping Binance, if you have never used futures before, it's going to accept you to create a futures account. It will ask for a referral ID. You put Royal Q256 in capital letters. Proceed and create a futures account. After creating a futures account, come here in the corner, the dots. Tap them, then tap preferences, and then tap positioning mode. Yeah. Change it to hedge mode. If you don't change it, you will not be able to enjoy a double trade strategy in case there is an opportunity. Yes, certain coin, you won't be able to trade it in both ends if you don't come and change it here in hedge mode. Okay. Second, go and redo the API binding. Come to your Royal Q, tap API binding, tap Binance, tap replace, and redo the binding. Binding energy. This time round, when you are redoing the API binding, what do we need? This is what we need. Okay? When we are doing the API binding, this is what we need. You come here to your Royal Q and tap edit. You have any futures. Remember, previously when we were doing API binding, we were only enabling spot and margin trading. But this time around, we are also enabling the futures trading. Enable futures. Are we together? Yeah? Are we together? Second, trade with margin calls. Trade with margin calls. Margin calls help you to maximize profits and extend liquidation because anytime your robot is buying at a different price, just like in sport. Okay? And whenever the robot buys the margin call, your liquidation price is extended. Transfer only 20% to your futures wallet, follow the trade. That is where I can stop today. We have done this training for 1 hour and almost 20 minutes. Okay? Now, I want to tell my friends that I know most of us, we are scared. You get the point? I know we are scared. Some of us, we are very scared. But this is my message to all of us. I was just like you. Okay? Right now, I'm not scared at all. Ready to dive in because I've seen the results. All of the guys who have been trading futures trading for Royal Q, they're making profits. Okay, sometimes you lose trades. Losing your trade in futures means you lose the money in that trade. But then you come back again. This time round, the trend has changed. Before, if the market went against us, it was holding our capital, we lose time. This time round, you lose your money. However, you come back again, recover it. Sometimes when we are trading, you are like, I wish I can get back my money. I believe what I lost and I recover my losses in profits. I keep moving on. That's the same thing happening in futures. So my advice to everyone is only trade with the money you are available to lose. Don't bring in all your cash. That's why we are saying only use 20%. Okay? And let's do it slow. Okay? We are going to sit with the leaders so that they can provide with us signals about futures. Okay? Even if you are just having $10, even if $50, use that. Just that. To learn, to get used to the system so that you avoid mistakes in the future, because here a mistake means a loss. Okay? Uh, I'm reading some messages here. Korek is saying, but yeah, he doesn't know mathematics. What is he going to do? Buy a calculator. And Korek is targeting 50x. Okay? Yes, leverage is a trap. Hassan is saying, is that leverage a trap, Muganda? Yes, it is. It is a trap. Hey. When you are leveraging, you are using Binance's, like you are using Binance's money in your trade. That's why it is a trap bringing closer your liquidation. If you are very scared, you trade with 1x. We are going to pick all of those strategies, which again we get. But as a team, we are not going to go beyond 10x, because if you do, you will liquidate very fast. Patrick is saying, if I trade with first buying amount of 40 and let me sell with leverage of 10x, so I enter the market with 400. Yes, my brother. This is tomorrow's training. If I had said take profit of 1%, is the profit calculated on the 40 or the 400? The profit is calculated on 40. Okay? 1% of $400 was in a 400 times 1%. $6. So the profit you make is calculated on the 400, not your 40. That's how futures is beautiful. So take it out as a trend you, because there are those coins which for sure come at the palm. Yesterday, but one it was whip. It was going up. I've made money in whip. How then getting the I got down with it. Now only go in the you pay the coin, only go in the gua, who kill up now. So you are making the profit. So if you are very good with the trend, you are going to enjoy futures. Someone is saying 75x so the profits from futures and sports are added. Someone is saying profits from futures are added together in Royal Q. Our profits are not in Royal Q, brother Biggie Jalo. Profit is up there. They are in Binance wallets, not Royal Q. Making a loss is real, yes, as real as the profit. Is this training recorded? Yes, my dear Joelia. Joelia has a nice name. Have you seen how she writes the spelling? The spelling is Joelia in English. I like that. Yes, it's recorded. Yeah. Okay. It is safer to trade stable coins. Joe, we get serious. A stable coin never moves. Why do you trade stable coins? Over together coins with a higher market cap, like BNP. Either way, that's the best. Nagambia, is the profit of spot on futures show as one in Royal Q? Yes, my brother. Big Jaro. Hey, what's up, bro? Tawanya. Who's confusing you? Let me show you, for example, my bot here. It has made for me some profits today. So tomorrow, because it's the 27th, today it has made for me $46. Today it has made for me $15. Now, when you tap profit details, RoyalQ differentiates your profits because sometimes you can be trading spot at the same time you are trading futures. Okay, so if you have made a profit in spot, it will show you. If you have made a profit in futures, it will show you, and then sum it up the whole total here. And since I'm using this account for only futures, it is showing me that if gave me $5, say gave me $9. Are we together? Okay. Uncle Rick is saying every mistake I do, teri lya sole tewali lya floating loss wano. A market goes against you, you go and sleep. Whatever it is like, let's dive into this. We will milk the market both ways, definitely. Rahma is saying profits are added in RoyalQ. Later, but profits are not in RoyalQ. Profits are on your Binance wallet. Okay, your profits are in your Binance wallet. Is saying to be faster, please take 1%. Yes, by the way, our strategy is 1% take a profit. We are not making more than that. There is a saying. Download the let me look for it here. Look at it. A small profit is better than a big loss. Sometimes in sport, we have been delaying in a trade simply because we want 30%. Ninga also call it 3%. You go and look at candles. Sometimes some coins, 3% will follow the candle. How about if we are only taking 1%? So in futures, we are going to be taking only 1%. Nikati go because the 10x, that 1% is going to be qualified so that it can be hit faster. We are going to dive in every bit of this program until we master everything. I request to stop here till that day. That is tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be back. Tomorrow's trainer, I will request give me time. I come back and I train again at 9 a.m. East African time. I train again. Today, please questions. Don't ask a lot of questions at the moment because we are still diving in. Now, tomorrow we are coming to see how to state a strategy, how to enter a coin, how to monitor everything. So tomorrow we are touching your future trading. Call alive. Who is ready for tomorrow? Who's ready for tomorrow? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. Fantastic. You people, let me go home. Thank you so much for attending. Have a great time. See you at the hope everything was clear. Let me hope the sound was fantastic. Let me hope the screen was very clear. See you in the wow.